So here we go. Every game starting Saturday, 3-word game. Kansas City, Denver. No final VIC-TORY. Vic Fangio's out. 5 straight losing years for this franchise. By the way, since Peyton Manning retired, Denver's had 10 different starting quarterbacks. What a mess. Great roster, too. Dallas, Philly, don't overredact. Yes, 151.8 passer rating. Philadelphia had backups everywhere. Good news, 22 different players scored a touchdown for the Cowboys. It has been the thing we like about them. Both sides of the ball, they have big-time playmakers. There's a lot of depth of talent, a lot of speed on this roster. Green Bay, Detroit, packing for bye. Green Bay, number 1 seed, only team undefeated at home this year. Get some rest for Aaron Rodgers' toe, and they'll be ready to go. Indy, Jacksonville, not quite REICH. 15-point loss against the Jags in a win-and-in scenario. In fact, they lost win-and-in scenarios the last 2 weeks, and Carson Wentz threw for only 200 yards or more only 2 of the last 8 games. So as much as I like Carson Wentz, he's reckless, and you got to make big plays. Like Derek Carr at the end of the year made big plays, and Carson Wentz made big mistakes. And that's the difference why Derek Carr is better than Carson Wentz. Washington football team and the Giants, Judge faces jury. Joe Judge, we think, is coming back. Had back-to-back quarterback sneaks from his own 2 to give the punter room. That did not play well on Twitter. I mean, unless they land Russell Wilson, this feels like the single most hopeless franchise in the NFL. Detroit plays their butt off. Jags have Trevor Lawrence. As Joy said earlier, Davis Mills for the Houston Texans, there's something there. He's a rookie. Not terrible. This place is hopeless. Chicago, Minnesota, change of command. Matt Nagy out, Mike Zimmer out. Should be noted, Matt Nagy's record is 34-31 with 2 playoff appearances. I think he deserves another job. Most guys don't get fired with a winning record. Most guys don't get fired getting a backup quarterback twice into the playoffs. Tennessee, Houston, awaiting King Henry, Derrick Henry. Listen, it's hard to explain what the Titans did this year. They lost the soul of their team for 2 months. They played 35 different guys were on IR. They had 88 different players used this year, most in the NFL. And Ryan Tannehill's good, not great. And they're the number 1 seed in the AFC, which is why Mike Vrabel wins by Coach of the Decade. I mean, he really turned some tricks there, man. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, still in it. Big Ben's 56th game-winning drive, way up there with Tom Brady. I mean, it's not pretty, folks, but they're in it. They needed to beat the Ravens. They needed the Colts to lose to the Jags. And they needed the Raiders and Chargers to not tie. And all 3 happened. I will say this. The next quarterback, they've got players. They got a great young tight end. They got a back. Their O-line's okay. They got Chase Claypool. They got players. They are a quarterback away. Hopefully a quarterback that can move a little, but their personnel, Kevin Colbert, their GM, I guess, is retiring. He's built a nice roster. This is a nice roster. Cincinnati, Cleveland, battle of backups. I mean, basically, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon. Cincinnati said, all of our really good young offensive players don't play at all or don't play much. San Francisco, L.A., gimme more Jimmy. Do you know he is 6-0 in his career against the Rams? Isn't that crazy? 6-0 against the Rams. This, in my opinion, has become the best rivalry in the league because it's so layered. You got the coach aspect. You got the divisional rivals. You've got big stars. Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Deebo Samuel. I think this is the best rivalry currently in the NFL. Carolina, Tampa. Gronky Kong returns. Yes, Gronk, 7 catches, 137 yards. It triggered his $1 million incentive bonus. And Gronk is one of the great tight ends in league history. Remarkable hands. Very good blocker. Big third down receiving target. Not many better than Gronk. He does it all. He can block, help you in the red zone. He's a matchup issue. I swear to God, it was the Tampa weather. He looked so broken down in New England. He looked broken down, came back to Tampa, reborn. Seattle, Arizona, fell off cliff, as in Cliff Kingsbury. Arizona lost 4 of 5. Now, the good news is they're 8-1 on the road. They have been a better road team than they've been a home team this year. I can't explain it, but Seattle put it to them yesterday. Russell Wilson played really well. New England, Miami. Brian's Miami finale. Well, in the Brian Flores era, he went 4-2 against Bill Belichick. Pretty good. He'll be fine. That franchise not only has to get the quarterback to be more dynamic, they need a new offensive line because they have worn through line coaches, and Austin Jackson wasn't as good as they thought. It is really hard to have a quarterback who's small and injury prone and a bad O-line. That's a lousy combination. New Orleans, Atlanta, no way home. Saints missed the playoffs first time since 2016. Considering their quarterback situation, not a bad year. I mean, really, they use 4 quarterbacks. When Jameis comes back or whoever they do, not a bad year. Jets, Bills, Buffalo had wings. 14 unanswered points in the fourth. Jets led entering the fourth, but, I mean, if you watch the game, Josh Allen just does Josh Allen. They're trying to run the ball a little more. They end the season, does Buffalo, in a 4-game winning streak, clinch the number 3 seed. What's interesting is I like their running backs. Moss and Singletary, I like both of them. I like their backs. They just don't use them much. But I watched the end of this game. This is there's no way to defend it. There's nothing you can do in the NFL. It doesn't matter who the coach is. When Josh Allen decides, I'm going to roll out, and especially if you're playing man-to-man coverage and your cornerbacks are downfield and your linebackers are got somebody covered, this is just a nightmare to face. They could lose in the first round or they could win the Super Bowl. It really depends. As long as weather doesn't take away their offense, I could see anything happening with the Buffalo Bills. Finally, Chargers, Raiders, Carr in overdrive. 30th career game-winning drive. Here's a number for you. Derek Carr's 30th career game-winning drive, tied for the most of any quarterback since he entered the league. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.